Joker, your behavior toward Luke just now was rather goading. That's very unlike you.
Unlike him, huh?
While I was chiding Joker, Sid chose to interrupt.
I always thought he was a genius at making fun of people.
You're right about that. He's a genius. I shrugged my shoulders and smiled wryly. That's why he's always careful not to say anything that will really offend someone.
I see. You sound pretty convincing.
Sid nodded as he chuckled. Joker stood blinking in surprise.
Amelie.
Could it be that he's embarrassed? Was it just my imagination, or were the rims of his eyes a bit red? If I'm not imagining it, then this is far more unlike him. And I was taken aback, but managed to clear my throat, and then I turned my attention to Luke. I appreciate your concern for me, Luke, but you can trust Joker. At the very least, I trust Joker, and I've decided to join forces with him. And I don't appreciate anyone trying to influence my decision. Luke was silent as he processed what I had said. Eventually, he regarded me with his amethyst-colored eyes and spoke in a low voice.
All right, if you're that sure, Amelie, then I'll place my trust in Joker.
Oh, really? Thank you. His abrupt change of stance was so unexpected that I was momentarily dumbfounded. Luke and I had hardly spoken at all, and yet he was willing to take my word for it.
And allow me to apologize for acting childish.
Joker put his hand on his chest and closed his eyes, offering an apology.
I'm sorry for making unwarranted accusations, Luke. I almost ruined your tea party.
I couldn't help but smile given his sincere apology.
No, I'm the one who should apologize. I should have minded my own business. The two of you already managed to establish a level of trust.
For some reason, Luke spoke in all seriousness. I pasted on a smile in hopes of lightening the atmosphere. All right. Well, why don't we resume the tea party? The tea that Luke poured for us was placed before each of us, giving off a soft aroma. The sweets that had been laid out attractively at first were now jumping around the table for some reason. The four of us sat down quietly and discussed our plans for the immediate future.
I see. So Joker has finally decided to uncover forgotten memories of the crime he committed. But what is this I hear about you trying to get back your memories so that you can return to your home, Alice? Are you sure you want to speak so freely about this?
Luke was so worried about me, I thought I should explain our predicament. Sid released a small sigh and smiled wryly before proceeding to speak in a restrained voice.
Try to be more discreet from now on, okay? You're mistaken if you think everyone will be happy to help you.
Yes, I know. I nodded as I took in his warning. Joker mentioned the same thing after we met with the Queen of Hearts. He said Wonderland residents don't want to let go of Alice. Speaking of which, I suddenly realized something and I looked at Joker to ask him a question. Hey, Joker, are you okay with me leaving Wonderland at my real house? You said everybody here in Wonderland wants me to stay, right?
Yes, of course. I hadn't been lying.
Joker answered me without emotion.
But you want to go home, don't you, Amelie? I don't want to trample all over your feelings just to get you to stay here, Amelie.
Joker? The words that flowed freely from him No, not kind of. They really made me happy. I felt my heart flutter. Joker sent me a smirk.
Of course. I'll be sad to see you go, Amelie.
I couldn't figure out how much of what he said was just teasing or the truth. If that was how he really felt, it would make me quite happy. But if Joker's just toying with me, I'm setting myself up for disappointment. I tried to hide my embarrassment by not smiling and pouting instead. Would you stop teasing me like that?
Alright, I'm sorry, Amelie. Don't be mad.
He laughed and gave me a light-hearted apology. He most likely sensed that I wasn't really angry. Well, okay.
Good. I'm glad.
When I made a great show of forgiving him, his smile widened. The bright smile of his told me that he was in a good mood. Luke refilled the empty cup with tea as he started to speak.
I've heard talk about how to recover lost memories.
Really? I leaned forward in excitement at the possibility of uncovering a clue.
You might not know this, Amelie, but there's a forbidden place in Wonderland. Rumor has it that beyond the locked gate is a place where lost memories flow.
Joker seemed to ponder that for a moment.
If it's the rumor that beyond the gate is the Lake of Tear, I've also heard about it.
Do you know about it, Joker?
Yeah, but I've never gone beyond the gate. That gate is locked with a special spell. No ordinary magic is going to get it to budge.
That would mean we were up against a gate that wouldn't open. Joker squinted when he saw me in deep thought.
Is the unflappable Amelie worried? In principle, Wonderland residents don't want you to regain your memory, Amelie. There's no guarantee that someone like Kyle won't try to interfere.
Despite Joker's attempt to scare me, I smiled and replied calmly. Of course I'm worried, but that's no reason to stop moving forward. I want to regain my memory. I'll do whatever I have to achieve my objective.
I knew you would see it that way, Amelie.
Joker's rose-colored eyes narrowed in deep satisfaction.
And that's what's so great about you.
What do you mean by great? I narrowed my eyes and grumbled when he patted my head. But the fact that it surprisingly didn't bother me meant that he probably had me where he wanted me. The tea party progressed in peace. Now that we had determined our next stop, the future seemed a little brighter. The day after the tea party, Joker and I visited the so-called forbidden place. It was obvious that the doors were held closed with a magic lock, but I decided to try pushing them anyways. You're right, they won't open.
Didn't I tell you?
Joker, could you try casting a spell? I suggested it because I knew we had a better chance with Joker's magic than with mine.
Well, I don't mind giving it a try, but last time it wouldn't open, so don't get your hopes up.
You've tried it before?
Yeah, I mean, you can't help but be curious about something like this, right?
That sounds just like you, Joker. He proceeded to try out all kinds of different spells, but he wasn't able to create a key that fit the impressive lock, nor was he able to break down the gate itself. What should we do? It's imperative that we open this gate in order to regain our memory. As I was pondering this, he made a suggestion.
Why don't we try the Wand of Biblion? It might have some helpful reference material.
That's a good idea, Joker. I wholeheartedly agreed with his proposal. The Wand of Biblion was the largest one in Wonderland. Not only did it have countless books, the corridors were maze-like, and it was difficult to get a grasp of the overall interior. While I'm sure it's a lovely library, there are so many strange books. Some books looked ready to fly from the shelves as they thrashed about, while the spines of others gradually changed colors. At one point, I thought a table held a slice of cake, before realizing that it was actually a book shaped like a cake. Joker hummed good-naturedly as he grabbed an unruly book and skimmed its contents.
Aren't all books like this?
Somehow, I don't think so. I released a sigh, but kept flipping through the pages of various books in search of information. Huh? My hand stopped flipping the pages when I spotted the word Joker. Joker is the name given to serious criminal offenders in Wonderland? So Joker became Joker because he committed a crime? Just as the thought hit me, the book I was holding started to move. What's going on? Suddenly, several black furry legs started to emerge from the book. I quickly dropped the book out of fear. But as soon as the book stood up, it started to move around the floor with a rustle. Yikes! I couldn't help the shrieking scream that left my mouth. Joker! Joker! Help! The book! It's creepy! I was visibly shaken as I grabbed onto Joker.
Calm down, Amelie.
Joker looked equally surprised, but I didn't have it in me to calm down. I can't be calm at a time like this! That book walked like a spider. It's very scary, so help!
You wouldn't happen to be afraid of spiders, would you, Amelie?
Yes, I am! My fear left me close to tears.
Alright. I'll take care of that book right now, so don't worry about it.
Joker held out his hand with a somewhat crooked smile. Engulfed by the light emitted from his hand, the book returned to its shelf. Thank goodness! I let out a heavy sigh of relief now that the book had finally settled down. Although the book had returned to its shelf, I was still shocked from the mysterious incident I witnessed. Fear still lingered, as I had yet to fully regain my composure. When I glanced up, Joker was watching me with a soft smile. Why are you smiling?
Oh, I'm just surprised to learn that you have a weakness, Amelie.
He smiled at me, despite my defensiveness, but... Of course I do. I'm sorry to disappoint you. You probably thought I was being childish for overreacting, didn't you? But I can't help the fact that I'm afraid. I glared at Joker with teary eyes, and he chuckled.
No, that's not what I think.
Don't lie. Really?
Really?
Joker gave me an exaggerated nod, as if to try to reassure me, since I was still rattled.
Let me see. What I thought when I saw you screaming, Amelie, is that you unquestioningly seek me out when you're afraid.
His words made me realize the meaning behind my earlier reaction. When I panicked, I called out his name and latched onto him. That was because subconsciously, I'd come to depend on him. Joker must have sensed my realization because he smiled in amusement.
It feels nice to be needed. Well, feel free to throw yourself on me whenever you feel the need, okay?
Why don't I just take your word for it? I vowed not to make a fool out of myself again. Just as I had regained my calm, Joker and I were at the forbidden place. We resumed our search for any written clues on the Lake of Tear. No matter how hard we searched, we couldn't find anything. Maybe the Wanda Biblion doesn't carry any clues to the forbidden place. I sighed in resignation.
No, we haven't checked all the bookshelves yet. There's still the one holding the forbidden books. The only people with permission can touch that shelf.
How does one go about getting permission?
I don't know. I've never asked.
Joker paused mid-sentence as he became lost in thought.
If they've taken such pains to strictly separate the books, it's likely that the Spinner of Tales is withholding information on the Lake of Tear.
The Spinner of Tales?
I forgot you don't know. The one who tells the tales here, the person who administers the rules of Wonderland. He always carries a quill to write down the story and hides his face under a hood.
I couldn't speak as I stood there frozen in place.
Amelie, what's wrong?
As I listened to Joker's explanation, the tightly closed lid holding my memories lifted ever so slightly. I think I might have seen the Spinner of Tales before. I felt like I was on the verge of remembering something very important.
Good day. It's the Queen of Hearts. I'm not used to appearing in front of people, but I've been put in charge of the next preview, so I'll do my best. What? You're saying it's peculiar that, as Queen, I'm not used to appearing in front of people? Is that so? I don't really think so, but... Here, why don't we just take a peek at the next page?
We silently regarded each other. It was silent all around us, so I could hear the beat of my heart. As I looked into his eyes, I could feel my heart rate pick up, but our eyes were locked together. I wanted our gazes to remain locked forever.